everyone, I'm Emmy, an interpreter here at Historic Brattonsville, and I want to thank you all for joining me for this extra special Time Travel Tuesday today. Today we will be talking about traditions and celebrations of birthdays during the 18th and 19th century. A lot of staff have birthdays in the summer, including my own, and it's always super exciting to get to celebrate with them. So let's get started on talking about the celebrations.
Before we discuss the 18th and 19th centuries, we must know that birthdays didn't start to be celebrated until calendars were invented. Since no one was tracking time, it was hard to keep track of a person's date of birth. It wasn't until people in the ancient times started charting moon cycles and realizing that there were seasons that repeated that they started keeping track of the days and times, along with birth dates and anniversaries. The first referenced birthday was in the Bible about 3000 BCE, referring to the birth of a pharaoh. It wasn't the birth date, but the date one was crowned and became a god in which it was described. At the point of the 18th century, birthdays had been celebrated across the world, even in China, when a child's first birthday was the most important. Kinderfest, which was a German birthday party, started in the late 18th century, is the beginning of parties we see today. The party was held for children and included a birthday cake with candles. There were as many candles as years of the child, and an extra one for the hope of living another year. Blowing out these candles while making a wish would be an important part of Kinderfest. For adults, parties typically involved eating expensive food, dancing, drinking, and gambling. In the 19th century, sugary cakes were a commodity only the wealthy could afford. Since many of the ingredients we see in cakes today cost a lot of money, it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution that we would see cakes become mass-produced and every class could obtain one easily and affordably. Along with the sugary birthday cakes, mothers would organize expensive parties for their children to show how wealthy they were. Children would receive 1 to 2 gifts from their parents on their birthday as well. These gifts were typically very practical, such as shoes or clothing. The song Happy Birthday to You was written by a school teacher named Mildred Hill in the late 1800s, and it was titled Good Morning to All. It was meant to be sung in classrooms, but the melody was adapted to the song we have today.
I want to thank you all for joining me today for this Time Travel Tuesday as we talk about celebrations during the 18th and 19th century for birthdays. If you have a question, you can always leave them down below and we'll get to them as soon as we can. And I can't wait to see you back on site